Hi, my name is Chelsea Walker, and today I'm going to discuss addiction. So, when you hear the word addiction, where does your mind go? You might go to someone shooting up some drugs, right? Or maybe someone smoking a cigarette. Or maybe it's just someone sitting at a bar having a drink. And they just do it all the time. Someone who just enjoys doing that continuously, right? But have you ever thought deeper than that? What is addiction? What kind of addictions can a person have? So you can have someone who just loves to work out, right? That can become an addiction. If it becomes a compulsive behavior, that can take into the pattern of an addiction. Or how about that person who just loves to eat? I mean, I love to eat. But then you got the person who doesn't like to eat. So managing your food, measuring your food, that can become an addiction, a compulsive behavior. How about gambling? People are addicted to gambling. People are addicted to I love you, or I want to be with you, or the attention in a relationship. You know, people are addicted to the chaos, to shopping. Addiction can take place in so many forms. And I think that people sometimes forget that. It's not just drugs and alcohol that you can be addicted to. You can be addicted to drinking your soda, having that glass of Southern sweet tea. Maybe it's eating that piece of cake. Like I said, addiction comes in many forms. Even now, gaming has become an addiction. Kids, adults, who that's all they want to do. It's a compulsive behavior. Our brains just automatically go there. We just want that. We crave that. So what is an addiction? So an addiction is a physical or psychological need or habit forming. It can be, like drugs or alcohol, or like I said, any type of behavior that can just become compulsive, that we crave, that we need, we feel that we need it to be okay. I think sometimes we get this idea in our heads and it sounds so silly, Oh, that person looks like an addict. How is an addict supposed to look like? What's someone who's struggling with an addiction look like? It can be your everyday businessman, your teachers, a student, the boss man at work, the stay-at-home mom. I mean, maybe it's the dad that works too much. You can be addicted to your work. Addiction does not discriminate. Anybody can have an addiction if we allow ourselves to do that, or if, we're genetically formed that way, right? So addiction does not discriminate. It doesn't matter what color skin you are, or if you have brown hair or white hair, blonde hair, or if you're from Europe or, Afghanistan or the US. It doesn't matter. Addiction can look like anybody. And here I have a few examples. So, you have the person who's sitting outside, the sign. You have celebrities. You have just regular people just trying to survive. You have business people, families, friends, all of those. So addiction doesn't have a certain look. It can look like anything. And depending on a person's addiction can also depend on the consequences or the effect in that person's life, right? I mean, every addiction is different. Not all addictions are going to destroy you. So maybe your addiction's affecting your mental health. You're isolating yourself. You're causing yourself to have so much anxiety. You're depressed because you're just not happy, and you just keep feeding this addiction, and it's just making you miserable. Or maybe it's making you angry. You just don't understand why. You're overwhelmed. So addiction can definitely affect your mental health. It can affect your relationships, whether that be with your children, with your boss, with your best friend, with your mother. Addictions can destroy relationships. You start, being compulsive on this one behavior. Say you like to go shopping. Well, you're shopping so much that you're not spending that time with your loved ones. You're destroying those relationships. So you don't have to just be a drug addict or an alcoholic to have some major effects play in your life. And the big one here, finances, right? Because a lot of our addictive personalities, guess what? They got some money. So shopping, we're spending that money. Maybe we're going into debt. Maybe we're scraping every last dime we can get just to go catch that high. Addiction it can take everything you got. So maybe people struggle with finances. How about a home? Because if you struggle with your finances, then you're most likely going to struggle within your home. Or maybe you're not struggling at home. Maybe you're just, everything at home is great. Your finances are great. Maybe it's just empty. Maybe it just doesn't feel like home. How do we help? That's the big question. How are we supposed to help somebody who has an addiction? First, say something. If you don't say anything, maybe that person doesn't even realize. But say something, because saying something, we're putting a voice to it. We're naming it. We're calling it. How about setting boundaries? So instead of enabling our friends or coworkers or our kids or our spouses, we can set boundaries in place with those, so that way we're not getting hurt in the process, or we're not allowing ourselves to enable them and continuing those behaviors. How about resources? There are so many resources in this world. Like, you can get online, you can search up resources anywhere you're at. So help provide them with resources. Help them provide them with that help. So thank you.